Little children are being forced to wear the mask by disgusting mask mandates, and I stand with those that oppose this abusive and unscientific action. The Moore County School Board also continues to vote in favor of forcing masks on students. And finally, the evolution of technology continues to grow. However, I don't know if that's really a good thing. I'm Luke Crotzer, and this is the Luke Crotzer Show. Since the height of the pandemic, the child masking has been getting way out of hand. Even though the CDC clearly states that kids younger than 18 years old are not at a high risk of getting, dying, or even spreading COVID, the masks are still being forced on kids. And now we've reached a point where the masking has become a barbaric form of child abuse. And here's my proof. There is a video that has been going viral on the internet. In this video, it features a little boy at his daycare being forced to wear a mask. Now, before I show you this clip, I want you guys to keep this question in your mind. That question is this: is the kid really benefiting from the mask?
Put your mask on. No, you gotta wear it on, no, honey.
No, you gotta keep it on.
Put your mask on.
There you go. Keep it right there.
Yay, Mason! Yay!
Keep it on, Mason. Look, we're gonna keep it right here. Nope. Oh.
Peekaboo, I see you. Keep your mask on. Put your mask back on.
What are you looking at? Come on, keep it on your face. You gotta keep it on your face.
I don't know what to say about that. I mean, it's just awful to see a child suffer like that. And it's not just this video that proves the point. There are more videos that came before this. Take a look.
The first thing that the flight attendant said was, "How old is she?" Like as we walked on the plane, and my husband was like, "Well, she's 2." And then she said she's gonna have to wear a mask, and we kind of were like, "Okay, she's 2."
Do you want to try putting it on her?
Her husband, Erhard, tries to put a mask on the toddler, but in true 2-year-old fashion, she isn't having it.
She was freaking out, losing it. She was screaming, and then she was crying, and she was just like, "No way."
That's when a crew member approached.
We can't force her. She's literally holding it and she's crying.
You're gonna do this to us? Yeah? Wow.
All right, let's go.
Erhard says they have flown United with their daughter 4 other times during the pandemic and never had an issue with her being maskless.
Wow. I mean, just wow. And this is what our country has been trying to push on kids. This is what our own school boards have been voting for. It just doesn't make any sense why we allow kids to suffer like this. I mean, at what point did we start believing that this was a good idea for kids? We keep trying to force these mask mandates on kids despite what the facts say for the excuse of achieving safety from the coronavirus. And I don't know about you, but that is not right. None of this is morally right. And it's about time we do something about it. So to all of you listening, if any of you are asking if masking a child is worth your safety in the end, this is my answer. No. No, it is not. Since we're on the topic of masks, earlier this week, on September 22nd, the Moore County School Board of Education had their monthly meeting to discuss whether or not to make indoor masking optional in schools. Just like the first meeting I reviewed, many parents and concerned citizens stated their cases for the mask to be optional. And just like the first one, they were all accurate cases. However, this meeting was more than that. There were a lot of highlights in this meeting, highlights that I want to share with you all. So, let's get to it. The first highlight I want to talk to you about is a speaker who, before she made her statement, asked politely if she could remove her mask. She asked this because she had a very thick accent and just wanted to take her mask off so that the board could understand her more easily. According to the board, it was not allowed. However, board member David Hensley wanted to vote in order to negate that rule, because he too wanted to better understand those who were speaking that night. The board voted, the majority voted no, and then the chair of the Board of Education, Elizabeth Carter, said this to Hensley.
Can I take the mask off? I have a strong accent. Nobody will understand me with the mask on.
Yes.
It's an impediment.
No. The motion fails. We would ask that you please maintain your mask while at the podium.
I have my mask.
And I'm sorry that your accent is considered a disability by Mr. Hensley.
My accent. No, he's not. Now
Out of
we are
order.
making
I'm
things
sorry, we
up.
can't
Madam
hear
Chair,
her.
Madam
I
Chair.
say that
What's your
it's
bang-
not
what's your
disability.
bang
You won't understand me
I'm
because
sorry, we cannot hear the speaker. If that is the way you would like the meeting to proceed, then we won't be able to hear anyone who comes forward to speak.
That was a low blow.
Yes, I agree. That was definitely a low blow. I don't even understand why Carter said that. In case Carter forgot, it was the speaker herself who said that she had a thick accent and wanted to remove her mask. Hensley just agreed that she should be able to. He never said that her accent was a disability. So, does Elizabeth Carter think that this woman's accent is a disability? Because that's what that sounded like to me. Another highlight of mine is another speaker who was actually able to bring the same video from my first segment and present it to the entire Board of Education. The speaker didn't really say anything, she just described what was happening in the video, but it was still a very interesting sight to see. Now my final highlight from the meeting features another Board of Education member, Ed Dennison. When the board got to the topic of making indoor masking optional, Mr. Dennison decided to say his reasoning for allowing the masking mandates to continue. He claims that it's because he has received emails from parents that actually want the masking mandates to continue. Interesting. I would love to see those requests. After he said that, the audience countered what he said by asking, where are those parents?
All right, now we will proceed to the actual motion, which is, yes,
Yeah.
Mr. Dennison.
Well, I was just going to make a couple more comments on the actual
ahead.
motion. Say, the mask thing, whether they work or don't, is not part of my thinking about this. I'm thinking about how many kids we can keep in school for one-on-one learning. I think we can talk to the health department and make some changes so that it improves. But the thing that concerns me most, and by the way, I've heard as many parents say they want their kids to wear masks as don't wear masks.
Where are they? They're not here. They're not here.
They're all over the county.
Excuse me.
Come on.
This is not a debate at this point. Mr.
Just
Dennison,
take my word for
continue.
it. But the point is, I do not want to put a mother or a family who can't afford or has no options that feels very strongly about their kids should be wearing, all kids should be wearing masks so their kids don't get sick. I don't want to put them in a position of having to have their children think he think their children are not safe, and there's absolutely nothing they can do about it.
Now, I won't deny that there are parents that are fine with masking their kids. However, I still don't see that as a good defense to Dennison's opinion on the mask. Again, parents aren't voting for masks to be banned from schools. That's not what they're doing. They are voting for them to be optional. If a parent wants to mask their kid, that should be their choice. It shouldn't be the school's choice, not the health official's choice, and it shouldn't even be our own president's choice. It should be the parents and the child's choice. Now, for the people who are wondering how the voting went, well, as expected, they voted 4-3 to keep the mask in schools, and they won't have another meeting until October 4th. So it looks like we're going to have to wait another month to see them vote again. However, unless someone from the pro-mask group, clearly acting political at this point, changes their opinion on the mask, I don't really see any change happening anytime soon. Our final segment isn't about the mask. However, this is a segment that does seem interesting to think about. So there's a video from the Daily Wire, and the video features multiple clips with a reporter asking a bunch of people whether the claim he's making is real or based off an episode of Black Mirror. For those who are not familiar with the show, Black Mirror is a show featured on Netflix. It's self-described as an anthology series exploring a twisted, high-tech multiverse where humanity's greatest innovations and darkest instincts collide. So in simple terms, it's a dark show that displays a world where technology invades all aspects of life in the creepiest way possible. When I first watched this show, I thought it was only a sci-fi show. However, after watching the news, I realized that our world is just as technologically insane as this show. The first clip from the video talks about a company that tracks their employees' every move with just a wristband. Let's see if this clip is either real or just a plot from Black Mirror.
I'm going to read a scenario. You tell me if you think it could be a dystopian sci-fi series episode or is it real life? All right? Are you ready?
Yeah.
So there's no wrong answers. An international corporation develops a wristband that will electrocute their employees if they are slacking off. Your boss would know every time you sit or go to the bathroom. Real life or Black Mirror?
Is that real life?
You tell me.
I don't know why. I think that's real.
I think it could be real
I
too.
think it's definitely real, like Russia.
That sounds like something Apple would do in their warehouses in China.
Off the bat, I think that's Black Mirror.
I'm gonna go with Black
That's just
Mirror
kind of
as
crazy.
well.
Like
Yeah.
I just don't think that's something that would happen in real life at all.
Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but it's true. Guess what corporation's doing this?
I'm going to say Amazon because the owner of that company is a total a-hole.
That sounds like the funny stories I hear about Amazon.
I wouldn't be too surprised if it was used by Amazon.
Look at that! You're like the fourth person that's gotten it correct. It is Amazon.
Yeesh. Who would have thought? Alright, so the next clip from the video talks about a government that does an actual personal rating system. Like, someone can give someone else a 1 out of 10 rating. What do you think? Real life or Black Mirror?
A government introduces a social credit system, giving a citizen a rating. Breaking any kind of rule lowers your score. So if you're mean to someone in public, you don't tip well, you're walking your dog without a leash, lowers your score, and this can affect you getting a job or even being able to attend a movie theater.
I heard about this. That's real.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I've never heard about it, but I know there is a Black Mirror episode that happens in.
Black Mirror or real life?
Black Mirror.
Correct and wrong.
So I actually read the article on this one. China did that. I know that China was doing that, yeah.
Yep, social credit.
I mean, that is just insane when you think about it. China literally gives you the ability to rate someone 1 out of 10. Someone can give me a bad rating. I mean, I don't see why you would because there's nothing bad about me. However, it's still super weird how we are able to do that. Okay, so the last clip involves people injecting microchips in their hands that are able to become a replacement for your car keys, your personal identification, and even your debit cards. So what do you think? Real life or Black Mirror?
Okay, last one. People have microchips implanted under their skin, replacing things like car keys, credit cards, and IDs. Real life or Black Mirror episode?
Real life.
There hasn't been a Black Mirror yet, so Black Mirror.
Well, I haven't heard about that one. There seems to be a pattern to this. So I'm going to guess that it's true, that that's something that's being implemented somewhere.
Is that Black Mirror?
It's Sweden.
Interesting.
Yes, it's been happening for a little while now. So the chip goes right in here, and they don't need cash, credit card. Yeah, you just wave it everywhere. What do you think about that?
I mean, I probably wouldn't think of doing it right now, but to each their own.
Would you get a chip?
No, I wouldn't get a chip.
I mean, I could do it real quick.
Well,
I'm just kidding. I appreciate the offer. That's good.
We've just been.
So as far as I can see, all these statements are true. I have to say, that's a creepy realization that technology has now reached this point of power. I mean, we have not yet found a cure for cancer, yet we have wristbands that can track your every move. That's scary. Now, luckily, most of what this video taught about were statements from other countries. So, except the Amazon statement, everything else you heard from this video isn't as prevalent in the US. With that said, it is still something to think about and watch out for. Well guys, that's our show for today. If you enjoy my content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to click the little bell icon, that way you won't miss any of my new content. Anyway, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next Crotzer show. With that said, there may be a possibility that you won't be able to see, well, another episode of the Crotzer show next week. I will be very busy trying to study for my driver's test and also school and everything else. So, again, there is the sad possibility that you will not be able to see the Luke Crotzer show this week. Well, next week, I mean. But do not be afraid, because I will come back soon. And I will do my very best to see if I can get something out there. Anyway, you've been a wonderful audience, and I thank you for everything. Oh, and little heads up, I would like to say thank you very much for being able to get me to almost 80 subscribers. Thank you very much for that. So, I hope you all have a good day. I hope you have a good weekend, and I'll see you next Friday. Maybe. I'm Luke Crotzer, and thank you for joining me on the Luke Crotzer Show. Peace out, guys.